So I'm going to be painting this far glove for this driver. You can see that I've already got the shapes blocked in. There's the glove, the stripe, the thumb, and a couple of pads. So there's only 5 layers there. The photo that I'm working from is I've made a copy off to the top. So I have these two paint splotches that represent the raw colors, the blue and the purple from the roll cage there. And I'll be working those in. But I just take the shape and I make it the color blue here, and to match, the photos got it all dark, so I start adding black, um, and you'll see that it's just a case of painting the basic colors. I try and grab a little colors from elsewhere in the project so that it just sort of has a natural. It's not that it's actually reflecting off that thumb, the purple, but it just when you look at it, it'll tie your eye sees the purple on the thumb there and the purple in the roll cage, um, uh, and it just sort of helps tie it together. All right. So what you can't see sometimes is a palette box when I change the brushes. Um, when my mouse seems to go right to the center of the screen, it's probably because there's a palette open and I'm changing the brushes. And sometimes you'll see um, the cursor sort of flat, just like that. When I grab a color, um, using the eyedropper tool to grab a color out of the existing picture where I want to continue some color. So I'm darkening up the glove here and um, kind of going around looking for areas where it's darker. Um, so I've already painted the lower white stripe just very basically. You'll see that I do a lot more work on that in a minute. There's a little separation between the thumb and the back side of the glove, which would be the palm. So there's these two leather pads that are light colored. Make that one white, add a little dark shading, and then change the paintbrush to very small so I can get this little stripe in there where the two layers of leather are separate, and then you add the dark first and highlight it just like Bob Ross did with the Happy Little Trees. Wherever you want light, you need dark. Um, so I'm going to do this index finger pad here on the far side of the steering wheel. Put in a little shadow. Okay, I'm going to make it the brush a little more. It was at 24%. Now I'm going to make it in the 40s so that the color actually shows up when I paint. Make the brush a little bigger. So painting in the basic shadow. Here's some wrinkles going in. Just paint the sort of dark impression of where the wrinkles are going to be. At this point, it's kind of hard. One nice thing about working on the computer is I'm going to be able to zoom in here in just a minute, so so that I can actually see what I'm doing. And my apologies, I'm doing this voiceover after I did it. Next time I do a demonstration like this, I'll actually talk through it while I'm actually doing it. So here I'm zooming in. I'm going to just do a little um, shading to give it some dimension here. Grab some dark. All right, bring in some shadows there along the palm as I'm looking back and forth between the painting I'm doing and the photo above, just to sort of estimate where that lit area of the palm is going to be. And you'll see that I actually back and forth and trying to get that sort of to look natural. Thought I'd bring in a little bit of blue. Now that steering wheel is not actually bright blue like that, you can see that I each of the shapes that I use, I make a different color, so when I look at it, I can see, these are really basic shapes, so I need to see some contrast. Okay, grabbing the actual blue that is the base color for the glove, putting it in there. So those two circles, the blue and the purple that are there in the window, that's on a separate layer, and it's just temporary. And while I'm actually painting, it's just like an oil painter would use a palette. So I can go grab those natural colors when I need them, and at the end, that layer will just go away. The layer with the photo will just go away. I'm only using it just to see what the real glove looked like, and I'm not really trying to duplicate it. I'm trying to get the essence of how it looks. I blocked in the shapes because it doesn't matter how well you paint it if the fingers are clunky because you've painted them wrong. You can't just slide things over. You're better to block off the shapes at the beginning, get everything in the right place. The angles are all right, the sizes is all right, the proportions are all right, and then I go in and paint it, and hopefully the painting looks right. Let's see what's going on here. So grabbing a little more dark because I'm going to put a little more shadow in. There's a little wrinkle where the finger bending around there, so I'm just putting a little hint of a shadow to make that wrinkle. I should have recorded the first glove because you can see that the soft material of the glove has a lot of wrinkles, and I'll do one when I do the driver's sleeve or something like that that shows how I get all the texture of the material to look right. Okay, so what I'm doing now, I've changed brushes to this sort of spatter brush, and I call this my splotch layer. And what I'll do is just grab some like neutral brown or something, depending on what color the object is, and I'll just spatter it all over the area. I'm trying to get the level right and the size right. Okay, so I'm using kind of a beigey brown there. Now I moved it in front of the thumb because what I want is everywhere where there's that soft material, I want to have a splotch over it, and then I will highlight the shape of the glove. No, that's the thumb. And the shape of the whole glove, which will mask off so the spatter only appears where the actual glove is. And there goes. And then I'll tone down the opacity on the splotch so you can just barely see it. And so then it has just a nice soft felt texture. And you can see I do that all over the car. Just nothing wants to be a plain flat color. All right, so that's basically how it is, and you'll see my mouse. Oh, I'm going to add some deep shadow over the whole thing so that the thumb of the near glove is separated